I'm here with Renata Varea, researcher, University of the South Pacific, and also with Agustin Ocaña Escobar, who is founder and chairperson of the Global Youth Coalition. So wonderful to have both of you here, Renata and of course, Agustin. So please tell us a bit first about yourselves and your work. Would you like to start, Agustin?
Thank you so much, of course. And well, I'm Agustin, as you said, from the Global Youth Coalition, born in Ecuador. Um, I am a biotechnology engineer as a profession, but after having already like a successful life, let's say quote, as a youngster, I felt that I need to do more, and it's how my commitment for the planet raised up. I traveled to Egypt, COP27, and that's where GYC began. We have this meeting with Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General of United Nations, and so far it has been going. We do capacity building, green jobs. Then we are also bringing people like Varea, but like Renata, to the venue with the Oxford University and through a bursary program that we launched with the Global Youth Climate Training, where we are training the youngsters into a high-level commitment that how they can make an impact with feasible things that we can ask, and we can make some impact with the negotiators and all the stakeholders that we have.
Very impressive work indeed.
Thank you.
So Renata, tell us about your work.
So I'm from a little island called Fiji in the South Pacific, and in an even smaller island north of Fiji called Rotuma. And I've always been involved in environmental work. I have a background in geography and land use planning. And this year, thanks to the GYCT program, I'm able to come to my first COP and participate and help the Fiji delegation under loss and damage negotiations. And yeah, it's been an interesting experience so far. A lot of learning along the way, and it's really been good, and bad, but we take both.
Yeah. We'll talk more about the
Yeah.
COP in general later on in the interview, but it's great that you were able to come, really. So, Agustin, you were one of the future voices in our campaign last year at the COP. So tell us what has happened since then from that perspective. I mean, you were portrayed as in 2050, what you might look then, and also to connect the future with the past, so to speak.
Yeah, actually, that's a really hard question. First of all, I am becoming older.
We all do.
So at some point we won't need AI anymore
No.
to make myself older.
We just speed it up a bit.
Yes, of course. And it was a great campaign because we were able to share what we were thinking that will happen of 2050. But you know what happened this year? In my country, there's no more energy because there's a scarcity of water for the last 70 days. Since we have energy based on hydropower, now we have 10, 14 hours no energy,
Blackout.
no electricity, and we were thinking that will happen 2050, but it's happening already. And while this is happening in Ecuador, in Latin America, in Valencia, we have this horrific thing that just took
Too
place.
much water. Yeah.
Yes, and then I am living now in Hong Kong. It was supposed to be autumn, and there's no autumn anymore. It's like summer. And sometimes people believe that what we are doing here is talking about the future, but we need to realize and recognize that it's talking about the present. And it's not everything going bad, as might sound, because then we have people like Renata. You know, Renata was one of we have 10,000 applications for this year program. We choose 285 people, amazing people from all over the planet, and from them we choose the 5 legendary, I call them the legendary ones, because it's like they come and they can finally advocate from the local community into the global level and then downloading it again. So a part of that, with GYC, we are jumping into AI and wildlife. We are doing something with gamifications together with Sankari Studios from USA, California. And of course, the capacity building programs like Reforesting for Peace and the Global Youth Climate Training together with the Oxford University. So there's a lot of things going on, but the youngsters are like ready to take action, but we need funding.
We need both to get us going, right?
Exactly.
So, Agustin, please tell us about the avocado plant. It's in one of my questions here. I have no idea what it is, so I'm very curious. I love avocados.
I love them too. I'm so happy that you asked about this because after we did the training first year, we finally had a bunch of people ready to implement this in the negotiations. We have some of the GYC champs that began with me now are official negotiators of their countries.
Ah.
So we have insiders in the negotiations right now. Not people that is aligned completely with us, but they know what we are advocating for. And that's why in COP28, we launched the avocado plan after having and hosting regional meetings with the youngsters, with Asia, Europe, Las Americas, and so on. And from these meetings, we had 3 topics that we will focus: loss and damage, the operativity of the fund, clean energy transition, and nature-based solutions aligned with UNEA Resolutions 5.5. This means that we don't want more greenwashing by using this tag, but we support nature-based solutions. So that's how it began. Now the avocado plan just yesterday evolved into the avocado framework. That's why we hosted the party last night. Because next year, and this next week actually, we will host again roundtables, 1 per topic with the youngsters. So we create during 2025 a draft 1-pager that we can provide on June approximately to the delegations, to the countries, so they have time to read them
For the
and
next
to
COP.
including them for COP30. And then we, because I have a lot of friends that are now negotiators, famous people like you, amazing people like Renata, all the stakeholders align, coordinated to make the impact and accelerate what's happening here.
That's a great plan, the avocado plan. Thank you for explaining it to me. So Renata, what specific outcomes would you like to see here from this COP, from your perspective, representing the vulnerable coastal communities?
Yeah, so I do a lot of work in local communities on the ground, and I see firsthand what everyone is going through. The continuous impacts of floods, tropical cyclones that are so much more frequent than what they used to be. I really want this COP to ensure that we get access to equitable financing to address these problems, and to ensure that the people on the ground are being delivered tangible solutions to help with their livelihoods, food security, all these things that are linked to loss and damage. We already have communities that are being relocated from their homelands, and all the implications and the challenges that come with that are lived realities for a lot of our people. So I really hope that this COP sees outcomes towards addressing those solutions, specifically around financing.
And of course, we talk about loss and damage fund. It's crucial that we get this in place properly.
Yes.
So from your perspective, Renata, as a youth advocate, and also representing the very vulnerable communities, how can you help push? And what would you like to achieve in terms of really getting this in place, the loss and damage fund?
For my involvement and engagement with youths on the ground in the Pacific, I would like to see that a lot of the youths that we have on the peripheries of these negotiations be moved into the negotiation rooms, so that we have solutions that are made by young people, because they are the ones who are impacted,
Indeed.
whose lives will be impacted. So these decisions that we're making are for them, are for our young people, are for us, really. And so these are the things that I would like more to see in these spaces: the involvement of more young people, capacity building for young people, specifically around loss and damage. So that is.
Thank you, Renata. This is crucial that your voices are being heard in much more than they are. So, Agustin, I'm turning to you now. You can turn to the camera if you'd like and give a call to action to the world leaders. I mean, from your perspective, what needs to be done?
I have shared so many messages to the world leaders these last years that I have learned that it's not just up to you guys. We are becoming stronger. We, the youth, are here. We are ready and we are taking the lead. And there's 2 options for you. You can follow our lead and you will just vanish, because the time is, we don't have time. We don't have time to wait. We are trying to align with the global leaders out there, but sometimes I feel that the governments are not representing the people anymore. They are representing the interests of the groups that are placing those individuals in the power rooms. And that's not how it's supposed to be. You are there for us. You are there for the people. So let's do it together, because we have one planet and we really don't have time. But again, the global youth is ready to take the lead, and it's up to you to follow, or we will see.
Thank you, Augustine. That gave me a little bit of a goosebump there, just listening to this call to action, because this is what we really, yeah, move over, or get it done, or move over, really. So Renata, your call to action, please.
Yeah, so my call to action is to young people out there, specifically from the Pacific. Your voice is strong and your voices matter, and we really need you out here at the forefronts, fighting for our communities and our people. And I know you are doing it. And we need to rally together and continue on this trajectory of pushing our leaders to push out solutions and address communities directly so that they have access to finance to help with all the problems that we're facing on the ground because of climate change.
Well, thank you so much, Renata. Renata, that was super strong, and we're counting on your voices being heard. I mean, this is why we're inviting you here, of course, to get them amplified, and we are in awe of what you do, and this is really, really powerful messages that you convey.
Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you so
best
much
of
for
luck.
having us.
Best of luck. Thank you.
you.
Best of luck for all of us.
We need it.